Hello, this is my solution for the Node.js syncer problem. I will start my MongoDB server. MongoDB. I will start my API server, and because I'm not serving the client-side assets from the same server, I will start the development server of Create React App and wait for it to load. So as soon as we start typing and wait for 2 seconds, it syncs. And if we see in our MongoDB database, the text is here with created at, updated at fields. And if I write more, the payload of the synced request, I mean post request, only has the patches as was told by you guys yourself, instead of the whole text which gets patched on the server to the database, and then it gets written on the database after it is patched. Um, and uh, uh, and as soon as the user is typing something, and if the user tries to go unload the document, then he or she or they is prompted. If they really want to leave, I'll hit cancel and then the sync will continue. And if I refresh, I will get the already saved comment text. If the user goes offline, then even then they can keep writing, and as soon as they are online, it will get synced again. So this is the solution that I have built. And so while searching through, I saw the payloads for how WordPress, Google Docs, and Medium handles it, and I just wanted to share casually that WordPress does not surprisingly send patches, but instead the whole HTML in the text of the payload, which is very surprising to me. Google Docs, yes, the Google Docs and Medium send payloads, the diff payloads itself. Uh, Google Docs seems to throttle the saving, so it happens every sort of every some milliseconds, uh, given the user has changed some text, of course, while Medium has approached this problem with the same functionality as this problem statement. That is, whenever the user stops typing and after a particular delay, the sync happens. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things that crossed my mind before I started. So one was, how would I come about implementing the fetch strategy? So I had read this good article on Hashnode about how to refetch a particular number of time if the fetch fails, which is a strategy that could have been implemented, I guess, but I didn't. There was another, a little ambitious strategy, which was to save the content when the user was offline, or when the request was not successful. Save it in the local cache, perhaps in IndexedDB, or I don't know if saving it in, no. Okay, so for example, if IndexedDB was used, then as soon as the user was online, or a browser could, so the retries and the fetches could happen from the IndexedDB itself instead directly from the text towards the server, which could have been a good layer of storage. I think Feather.js had implemented it in one of the previous versions, but is not in the current version. Firebase does this using service workers, I guess. I'm not sure. So that was that. And so one of the small features that not a feature but a validation example that I built was to set a particular max length for the number of characters in the string. So let's do 10 and see what happens. So I will remove everything, and I will try to write a particular number of characters that are more than 10, and then a nice error message is shown to the user. So I'll revert it back to 5000, and we could keep writing as long as we want, and it would get synced. Just to be sure, we refresh and it is still there. And okay, what is next? So I didn't do server-side tests. In fact, I do not know how to do tests at all. But and I am willing to write them, but I thought that it would be too late because it had already been some time. I tracked and spent about 5 days on this problem, and I didn't want to be more late. So that is that. And one of the things that I really disliked about my code is that character level validation error on the client side is very bloated. It is all at the same place, and there is no common error handling or error message utility on the client side, which should be, and that would have been nice. I just thought I would call out the problems that I know about my code myself. There are many, but these are the some that I know of that are very, I mean, mm, very worth mentioning. Okay, so so the comment schema isn't designed to handle revisions or history, which is pretty self. I mean, it shows in the schema itself. I just thought I would call it out, and I think that is that. This is the problem, the solution that I could come up with for the problem. Thank you.